Hello, I'm Julian Johnson, and I'm your host for the broadcast today. I'm so excited that you decided to be a part of this experience today, and I look forward with great anticipation to what we will talk about today. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello, I'm your host Julian Johnson and welcome to Word Power. Today's today's talk is entitled Use at Your Own Risk Part 4. Bring back some samples. So I want to let you know that first of all, this broadcast could cause seismic shifts in your life. Please feel free to check me out. Go to my website, www.builtothrive.me/resources. If you're watching, please feel free to put in the comments section where you're watching from, and we'd like to recognize you. Also, we want to let you know that we're broadcasting on Saturdays on YouTube, Instagram, and the Built to Thrive Facebook page today, broadcasting on my own page as well. So, I want to talk to you today a little bit about what it's like to bring back some samples. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, we like to shout out Claudette Jones. Good morning, and it's so good to see you watching all the way from New Jersey. So, this is Word Power, and this is every week recharge, encouragement, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Julian Johnson, your host. And every week we have a word of the week. The word of the week this week happens to be vision. That's right. Everybody doesn't have it. Everybody has it, but everybody doesn't use it. We all have glasses. Many people have eyes. And for those that can see, for those that are able to see, I'm telling you, I've got something for you today. So I was talking to a good friend on yesterday, and I came up with an idea of several ideas, but one that motivated me to share it with you today. And we every week we have a word of the week. And this week, the word of the week comes from Numbers chapter 13, verse 23. It says, Then they came to the valley of Eshol, and there they cut down a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they carried it between two of them on a pole. So it means that, wow, they must have had a really big cluster of grapes. Now, a lot of people may read this story in the Bible and they say, okay, this is something good, but may not be for me. And I want to let you know today that this is for you today. And remember, the title today is Bring Back Some Samples. Bring back some samples. All right. So what if you go across the mountain, you go on this journey, and nobody ever sees or affirms what you see? All right. So what happens if people don't see what you see? These people came back and they said, hey, we saw grapes this size, and we actually brought back a sample. Well, I want to let you know, first of all, that everybody is entitled to their opinion. And I want to let you know that in addition to having our own opinion, we're all given a perspective by which we see the world. That is a worldview. It's the perspective or worldview which impacts our life choices. Everybody has choices to make. They have choices of potential. They have choices that offer them perspective. They have choices that also give them goals. But the question is, what if you don't see what other people see? What if you don't see what other people see? Then I would suggest to you that many of you are dreamers, but dreaming without action makes you kind of lazy and makes you wake up every day kind of living a mundane life. But there's some people who dream and they actually put it into action. So, what if you see past the present? There's some people I know. I know one person who is very dear, a mentor in my life. I talked to him this week, asked him one question, and I got almost 3 pages of notes, more or less. But there's some people who are visionaries who can see past the present. And I would suggest to you that seeing past your own future, seeing your own future may put you out of step with your surroundings and community of origin. Now, there's some people who may want to stay in their own community. They may want to remain where they are. They want to stay where they are forever. But I want to let you know today that I believe that you are called to be better, greater, and stronger. And as you're called to be better, greater, and stronger, there are opportunities that you and I have every single day to see things that are outside of our own sphere. Now, to be honest with you, there's some people who may be safe. Dwight Banning, one of his books, talks about two different people, pioneers and settlers. Pioneers were people who went on the American frontier in the early 1800s and they went across the country. They went to try to go through Louisiana Purchase, Pikes Peak, all that. Those were pioneers. But in every place that they went, There had to be some people to settle the city. So you have to ask yourself, am I a pioneer or am I a settler? But there's some people, even if you're a pioneer or a settler, you still have to have a dream, of vision to in order to and capture what you really, really want. So I would suggest to you that some people out here watching, you may be a visionary and you like, oh man, I see the grapes, I got the samples. What do I do to keep vision alive when others are telling a different story? All right. So I got you. I got you. I got you. So, what are some ways to keep vision fresh and your future fresh when others tell a different story? So, these guys brought back these grapes. Other people are saying there's grasshoppers. People don't know who to believe. But I want to tell you a few things today that I believe are going to help you as we go on this journey. But before we do, I'll be back right after these messages.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may be asking yourself, should I get it? Will it help me get back to doing the things I love, like meeting friends or traveling? And can I do it without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, that's normal. So visit getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information on the COVID-19 vaccines. Getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you. A message brought to you by the Ad Council and the CDC.
So we're back. We want to encourage everybody to look at getting the vaccine, consider it. Some people say, I'm not going to do it. That's fine. That's up to you. That's your business. Please make sure to consult your physician to get the best health information for your body. All right. So what are some ways to keep vision and your future fresh when others tell a different story? Well, number one, stop trying to convince people. There's so often that you waste and expend energy that could actually be useful for something else, but you're trying to convince people that what you're saying is right. You got the grapes, you got the sample. And I would suggest to you that so many people are sensory, some people are fad driven, and many people are momentary. I mean, they with the NBA champion this year, they're with the NFL champion, and they never have been a fan of that team until they started winning. People call them bandwagon fans. But I would suggest to you there are more than bandwagon fans. There are people who really just want to be down. They want to be cool. They want to be with the latest, the greatest, the best at the moment. But I want to tell you today, stop trying to convince people. Too many of you all watching this and listening to this on the rebroadcast are trying to convince people about your life. Well, number two, if people don't believe what you say, bring them some samples. All right. Now, these guys brought back these samples of grapes and they realized that it was so important to have something to show people. And I will let you know that, yes, there's something good for you, Annie, on the rebroadcast here. There's some people who try to figure out, okay, even if I bring back the sample, that people won't believe me. But guess what? You have to give people some proof. If you got vision, if it's only a vision and talk, if you don't have some proof of what you're trying to do, you got to create something. You got to create a picture. When I got married to my wife, I was getting with my girlfriend who became my wife. I didn't have a job. I'm telling you, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a car. I worked on campus. That was cool, but it wasn't no real money. But what I did was I showed her a vision of the future. I said, I'm going to go places that you never thought possible. I want you to ride with me on the roller coaster of life. We're going to do some great things together. And she bought into a vision, even though I had nothing. But the difference is that every day I prove my vision to be true. I work hard. I give all I can and I enjoy my life. And I want you to know today that you can have what you really want, what your vision is. And there's sometimes people won't go with you. So what do you do when people won't go with you and you have a vision and it's exciting to you and it's not exciting to them? Well, give people the option not to go with you. I think in this world today, we're only giving people two options, either yes or no, a vaccine or no vaccine. We're telling people either you're right or wrong, left or right, but people really exist in the gray. So what do we do when we exist in the gray? We live in the gray, but we only want to give ourselves and maybe others one option, yes or no. And I want to tell you today that you got to give people a third option. You got to consider the factors of why people may not want to go with you, but you got to give them the opt out. Some people not ready. Some people don't have the money. Some people can't see it. And some people just don't want it. So I want to let you know with permission today, I give you permission to let some people go. Everybody can't see it. Everybody doesn't want it. and everybody's not interested in growing. But if you're interested in growing, give people the option not to go with you. But I would say once you relieve yourself of those people, and once those people relieve themselves of you, then you are free to go forward. There's some people, when I was transitioning from one job to another job, a person came up to me and they said, Julian, said, as you continue to grow, there are other people who may fall by the wayside. And that's true. Some people you may not connect with because of life situations, because of time, or just because of just general differences of principles of life and living life. That's not wrong. Those people aren't bad. You're not better than anybody else, but you got to keep going on your goals. So, what do? You got to go on a relentless pursuit of your goals, whatever your goals are. It may be to drive a truck or start a trucking company. Your goal may be to be a doctor, and you feel like your age taking the MCAT is kind of gone beyond you. Your goal might be to be a lawyer, but you don't feel like studying for the LSAT. Guess what? You got to go on a relentless pursuit. You got to push yourself away from the crowd for a little while. You got to dig into the books. You got to learn your trade, learn your craft. What if you want to become a barber, a better barber? You got to spend some time practicing on cutting people's hair. I'll tell you, I was the practice person for many a barber in high school, and now they're great barbers today. But guess what? I knew they were going to be great barbers. So I said, I got to get mine in while it's free. So the other thing, that while you're on this relentless pursuit, I'm going to tell you that it may not be fun. You may feel alone, but you're not alone. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people out here cheering for you. A lot of people out here who want to see you do better, to see you whole, to see you happy, to see you at peace, to see you full of joy. And those people are waiting to celebrate with you. Everybody ain't going with you, and everybody who's not going with you is not against you. That is a misnomer. I think too often we think they're not with me, they're against me, and the devil, this, that, and the other. No, 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 no. They're not full of devil. They just don't know. Some people haven't been exposed. They just are not aware. They're not evil. They just don't know. So you might feel alone, and sometimes you might be alone. But guess what? It's worth it to keep on going. Basketball players, football players, even now as this football season continues to heat up, we're seeing not just the work of people during the season in practice, but we're seeing the results of people when they get in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. They're down by 7 and they got to score. Well, it's not the fact of the result of the fact that they practice. It's the fact that they put in extra practice. They put in extra work. They went the extra mile. And I want to let you know today that you got to go the extra mile. Even when you don't feel like doing some things, you got to do them to go the extra mile, because it's building up muscle for you for the future. And if you don't want to build up muscle for yourself for the future, just quit. Just stop right now. But I'm telling you, the book Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg talks about just increasing what you do little by little each day so that you can build up to doing more and more and more. You don't start out being able to run 26 miles in a marathon. You got to run 1 mile. You got to do that 5K, got to do the 10K, get your breath up, get that second wind. And I'm telling you, you'll be able to do more, but you might feel alone, but you might be alone just for a little while. And then I want to tell you today, here's the thing. You want the future, you want vision, you want to grow. I want to tell you, you got to do this one thing. You got to keep a picture of the sample with you. You brought back the sample. You showed everybody. Everybody wasn't buying into it. They weren't believing it. But you got to keep a picture of that sample. You got to write down your vision. You got to take a picture of where you want to be, where you want to live, that land, that area, that future. And instead of other people distorting that image or that picture with their perspective, you got to keep focused on that picture for yourself. You might want to be a chef, open a restaurant. I'll taste the food. I'll wear the t-shirt. Everything you need, I'll do it. But the reality is I can't do it for you because it's not my vision. It's your vision. And I want to let you know, you got to keep a sample of that, keep a picture of that sample with you. If I was there about to walk over to Canaan, you best believe I'm taking out my phone, taking out this cluster of grapes. So when it's difficult, we start seeing other people, we start seeing obstacles, we start seeing other opportunities. I'm keeping a sample of my vision because that's what's going to carry me all the way through. So please don't give up yet. Keep a sample with you and then find a way to stay motivated. Nobody can do this for you. This is your vision. This is your life. This is your family. This is your marriage. Yes, you can start over again. Some people may not have been in relational success. Some people are out here creeping. Some people may not be doing the right thing. And some of you might be wrecking somebody's home. Guess what? You can stop, you can go forward, and you can live a life of joy all over again. This ain't about just a vision of some pie in the sky, 3.5 kids, whatever that means, and a white picket fence. That ain't everybody's vision. Some of y'all vision is just getting out of the bed in the morning. Some of your vision is just getting through that one difficult meeting and conversation. But you got to find a way to stay motivated. I was coaching somebody this week and I was telling them the reality is that everybody has to have their own pillars of success. What are your pillars of success? Mine are integrity, humility, passion, and service. I can say them like that because they've been ingrained in my DNA. That's who I am. I like to live a life full of integrity, so I've got accountability partners. I like to live a life of service, so I help to serve other people. I like to live a life of passion, so I'm excited. And I like to be humble. That's why everybody don't know everything all the time. Oh, can you hear that? The reality is you got to stay motivated. And I'm telling you, when you stay motivated, nobody can do it for you. Now, I want to close out with this. As we begin to close, the reality is that vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. And I want to tell you today that the first step is hard. The second step is hope, but I want you to know you've got to take the third step, which is progress. It's been a pleasure to be with you for just a little while today. Remember to use this at your own risk, but bring back some samples. You've got a vision for your life, and I want to help you to encourage you on that vision. Please make sure to check me out for coaching opportunities. Some big things are coming up very, very soon that you need to be aware of and be a part of. So please join my Facebook group. Please join the Facebook opportunity, and I guarantee you that you will be blessed. The Built to Thrive Facebook group is where you get a lot of insider information that I'll give to you on a weekly basis. This past week, I recorded a podcast about spiritual leadership that you will need to hear in the coming days, and I'll let you know a way that you can hear it. Thank you again for being able to support me. Please like, subscribe, and share this broadcast with somebody else. I'm out. I'm Juleun Johnson, and I approve this message. Have a great rest of the day.